Shalom. Giving all honor, all praise, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect tabernacle of David that are scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. Now I want y'all to listen to what this rabbi, this rat, what he's going to say about Babylon, aka the U.S., which is very interesting. That they would actually push this, and to be honest, this devil is going to be saying something that's partially true. All right, and it definitely mirrors, what we say concerning the fate of Babylon. All right, because the scriptures say that this place is destined for doom. All right, but just think about it: who's in control? Who rules modern day Babylon the Great, or Mystery Babylon? What nation of people would be at the top, during the reign and dominion of Babylon? So it's definitely interesting coming from this rat rabbi's mouth. But let's listen up, and then I'm gonna give my quick response. All right, so let me adjust the volume. All right, let's get it.
Future. That's it. There's no other way of explaining it.
Hold on, let me refresh it. But this is what he's saying about the U.S. of A.
No future. That's it.
He said the U.S. have no future, right? Now, mind you, Amalek, they've always had a superior complex when it comes to the American Edomite and America in general. Even though they have communities here, even though they use America, even though America has supplied them, helping to make them the biggest welfare state of the world. We know that the president, has to kiss the ring and bow to the interests of the Zionist elite. So, throughout time, these rats, they've always showed disdain for the U.S. Okay. So anyway, but let's keep going.
There's no other way of explaining it. Edom, which is America, is going to be destroyed.
He said, Edom, which is America. So he's tying Edom with America, which is very interesting, right? Like I said, they look down on you American Edomites. And I know that, the Edomites here, the ones that are nationalists, the ones that are, patriotic. You got the clan. They don't like Amalek either, so there's always been a divide amongst these family of Edomites. But one thing we know about Amalek is the scriptures say that Amalek will be the first of the nations, meaning, they will become like the chief or the head, which is why they have all this control and power right now. Let's get that real quick. I believe that's in Numbers. Yeah, this is Numbers 24 in verse 19 it says, out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. Salakia, bear with me. I just got up, so I'm, Salakia for the yawn. Verse 20, it says, and when he looked up, or when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations. He's one of the grandsons of Edom and a duke, making him basically a high-ranking Edomite family. All right, he's progenitor of the Amalekites. But his latter end shall be that he perish forever. So while this, Salakia, this rat right here is saying that Adam, which the proper way of saying it is Adawam, is American, that America is going to be destroyed. Well, what do you think is going to happen with Amalek? They try to separate themselves as if they're two different nations of people, but they're all actually the same people. You just happen to descend from the family of Edomites that converted to Judaism. Okay? And thus you separate yourself and call yourself the children of Judah, which they say Yehudi. Okay? But you're another Edomite. You got the European Edomite that became Christian. You got the Turkish Edomite that became Muslim. And then, of course, you got you devils over there. Okay? You was Judaized. You converted to Judaism. And now you think that you're the Lord's people. So you get to, change the narrative, change history. You get to create this additional work called the Mishnah, where you as so-called Sadducees try to basically manipulate the law and use it in the form of a commentary to impose your racial superiority over others, and all type of blasphemies in there. And it's only been in the last few years where you're starting to now become scrutinized. And that whole book, it's being a lot of things that's said in there is being brought to the forefront. People are starting to do those digs and researches. Okay. But anyway, let's go back. So it says, and when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end is that he shall perish forever. All right, so when you look up that word first, I'm sure the word is Ra'asheth, Bara'asheth. So it's Ra'asheth in the Hebrew. And it says the first in place, time, order, or rank. Beginning chiefest. All right, the chief. Like when King David said, I'm become the head of the people, or the head of the heathen. Yeah, it's 2 Samuel 22:44. It says, thou also hast delivered me from the strivings of my people. Thou hast kept me to be the head of the heathen, or first of the heathen. A people which I knew not shall serve me. And that was during his reign when he sat on the throne finally, after coming back from battle with all these nations and having them conquered. So when he said he became the head, the word there is Ra'ash. All right, Ra'ash, which means head, top, summit, upper part, chief. Okay. The chief, the head. And when you chief of something, that means that you of high rank. You're at the top. So Amalek would have the highest rank of all the nations. But guess what? Just that the very same fate that he's saying that America's gonna have, they're gonna have too. Because what he doesn't know is that they're gonna be the cause for why America's gonna be destroyed right along with themselves. Causing these wars, these little proxies that's being fought with Hezbollah and the Houthi, all them different groups over there that's basically leading to war with Iran, which is Persia. America's going to be dragged into it thanks to you, which is going to, drag other nations into it. And before you know it, World War III. So nobody wins this war. But anyway, let's continue to listen to what he got to say. This the Rabbi.
There's a lot of prophecies. If you want to do just for two of them to see, one of them is in the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, and the other one is the book of Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah.
He said basically the book of Obadiah, all right, which Obadiah hasn't fully been fulfilled yet, especially the 18th verse, because once all you Edomites are gone, the real people of Israel will have occupied the land of Israel, and also Mount Seir will also become an inhabitant land for Judah. So let's go to that real quick. And it says that basically it's going to be the Israelites that's going to destroy and devour the house of Esau. Okay? Unless y'all saying that y'all going to be the ones to destroy America. You saying that Edom is America, and it's talk about that in Obadiah. Well, this right here is saying that the Israelites are going to be the ones that's going to do away with Edom, Adawamium. So this is Obadiah 1:18. It says, "In the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame, and house of Esau for a stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau." They of the south is talking about Judah. Because remember, Judah, when you look at the ancient map of Israel, the territories, Judah is the tribe that lieth at the far south, the southern end of the land of Canaan. All right, and then you got Simeon, right in the middle, but you got Judah down there. And then when you go a bit more south, southeast, you end up in Jordan. You end up in the Arabian desert, which is where you'll get Petra, Mount Seir. And we know the capital was Basra. So Judah, after Esau is devoured, Judah is going to take possession of the land of Edom. It says, and they of the plain the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead. And the captivity of this host of the children of Israel shall possess that of the Canaanites, even unto Zarephath, and the captivity of Jerusalem, which is in Sephrad, shall possess the cities of the south, and saviors shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. Okay? And this hasn't been fulfilled yet because the Lord, he hasn't gotten his dominion yet. Okay? What the kingdom is going to be the Lord's when Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, comes back and he takes the throne. Right? Like when you read in Revelation and also in Daniel how it says that the Son of Man came to the Ancient of Days and dominion was given to him. Yeah, all the dominion, all the authority of the earth is going to be translated into his rule. Okay, it talks about how he's gonna. Let me get it in. Was that Revelation 11 and 15? Yeah, this is Revelation 11 and 15. It says, "And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his anointed, and he shall reign forever and ever." So when Yahweh Shai returns and, he's going to judge and make war, of course, the Israelites will be then been saved, delivered, out of Babylon before it got destroyed, which is here in America, by the way. And we will be brought back to the Holy Land, and we're going to rule. Okay. It says that in Daniel 7:18 that the saints shall take the kingdom. And the saints are the children of Israel, not you devils. So it's interesting he's saying this, though, because he's partially right. All right. Because you Edomites, you definitely are, you're here in Babylon. All right. You rule, you control Babylon the Great. You control all the policies. You control the monetary system, of course. Well, go back to these rat bastards, but you Edomites, you're over everybody else that dwells here in Babylon, because we know Babylon is the melting pot. It's the whore that sits upon many waters, which represents, different people, tongues, nations, basically all the different nations that come here because they commit fornication, with the whore. But it's you Edomites, all right, that you dwell here and you control the affairs and the policies here, the culture here, the political structure. That's all you. The architecture that it reminds you of the Roman architecture, all right, as well as Greece. The activities, a lot of it, the entertainment goes back to ancient Greece and Rome, because this is modeled after the first beast. America is basically Rome 2.0, and Rome, which is described as that eagle. When you read 2nd Ezra 11 and 12, that deadly wound got healed and it resurfaced. So now you see in America as the fulfillment of Rome resurfacing. Okay. And what nation exalts himself as that eagle? It's stated in Obadiah. All right. So you can't get around it. All right. And this is nothing but Satan casting out Satan, by the way. He's saying that you Americans are starting with you Edomites, you European, Caucasian Americans. He's saying that you're the Edomites and you're going to be destroyed in America. This is what this Rabbi is saying. And I dare Vocab to make a response to this. I wonder what he would have to say about that. Why you didn't encounter him when you went to that that meeting, with your brothers. But he said Obadiah, and then he also said the book of Jeremiah 49, right? So let's deal with Jeremiah 49. And if you understand prophecy, it is prophesying against Edom. Okay, and then when you look at the description of Edom's judgment, and you compare and contrast it with the judgment that's written for Babylon, they're one and the same. It's like the event that's being described is the same event. Because Edom, Babylon, America, it's all the same. Okay, because this is Esau's world. But who's dominating this current world? Babylon, Edom, United States, Rome 2.0. That's why in Revelation, Esau is known as the son of perdition, because he's going to go into perdition. He's going to be destroyed. All right. Matter of fact, let me grab that. It is 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 3. It says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." You know, what is it? What is the words perdition means? It simply means to be in ruin, to be, destroyed, damned to destruction. Yeah, it says down here, the Greek word is apolia, destroying, utter destruction of vessels, and he's a vessel of wrath fit to destruction. And the Lord created him just for that day. All right, it says a perishing, ruin, destruction. Okay. And yes, Babylon is going to be destroyed. And your kingdom is going to be wiped out. All right. It's going to pass away with fervent heat and great noise, as it says in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter. All right. This is how your world is going to end for y'all. It says, "Who oppose him and exalt himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God." And that's you devils at the top. All right. The one that's, you have that God complex, with your sophisticated technology that's constantly advancing. In China, they're it tells you that in Second Esdras how Asia thou partaker of the glory of Babylon. So, they develop that complex as well, following behind you. All right, developing all this technology through artificial intelligence. Now you got Apple. They're talking about implanting brain chips now. So yeah, they're moving along with the agenda. And this is a way that he tries to flex his left hand power to show that he's like a god on earth. And the type of things that they say at the World Economic Forum. So they think that they're on that level. But all that's happening for him is the Lord is allowing him to get up that high. He's reaching his excellency, but he's getting ready for a mighty hard fall. He's going to fall hard, man. So, he's being revealed, and this is that time, but he's going to go into perdition. Okay. And also when you read about in Revelation, was it the 17th chapter? And it talks about those 10 kingdoms. And then it talks about, right here, this is Revelation 17. It talks about that mystery of the woman of the beast that carried her, which had 7 heads and 10 horns. This Revelation 17:7. It says, "An angel said unto me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which have the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit." And bottomless pit is it represents Europe, because Europe is a low land. All right, and this is where these devils would start to regain their dominion, in Europe. Okay. It says, "And go into perdition, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world." And you devils, your names are definitely not written in the foundation of not written in the book of life, from the beginning. All right. It says, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. And here is the mind which have wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth, 7 governments, All right, the mountain, the summit. You know, when they have these summits, that summit means a hill or mountain. All right, and these 7 major European governments that are part of the beast. All right, America tends to stem from one of them, that being Great Britain. Britain was one of those 7. All right, you know, you had the Germans, Germania, major, minor. All right, you had Greece, France. All right, Italy, and Britain happened to be one of them. You know, so it says, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and one is, and the other is not yet come. You know, because you had the British Empire that ruled for a period of time. You know, they were seen to be, I believe, there's a saying about Britain that's similar to what they say about America. The kingdom that rule where the sun doesn't set, or something to that effect. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, it says the term "the kingdom where the sun never sets" is often used to describe empires, especially the British Empire, that were so vast that there was always daylight in at least one part of their territory, because they went and conquered everything. Okay. This is because of the vastness of their territory spanning multiple time zones. However, the phrase can also refer to specific regions experiencing the midnight sun phenomenon, such as northern Norway, where the sun stays above the horizon for extended periods during summer. Okay. Because we know that the British, you know, they got regions that they conquered all over the world. You know, Australia, here in America, they had the 13 colonies. You got New England over there on the East Coast. So it ruled for a period of time. It says, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th. And this is talking about America, because America, you know, once it got its independence, you know, from Great Britain during that war, that's when they begin to reign. America began to reign. Okay. And is of the 7th and goeth into perdition. Okay. So America is definitely going to go into perdition, which means destruction. So that's one of the things that this devil got right. Okay. And like the saying goes, a broken clock is twice is right twice a day. All right. So he's actually right. And then he quoted Obadiah, and then he quoted Jeremiah 49. So this gets into the destruction of the Edomites. All right. Now it starts at verse 7, but I'm gonna go down to verse 15. I'll start at 14, and it says, I have heard a rumor from the Lord, and this is also quoted in Obadiah, you know, at the top of the chapter. And an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, go you together and come against her and rise up to the battle. And all these nations, you know, they are preparing themselves. You know, that's why they've been doing all these drills. They've been test launching, you know, their missiles, their nukes. You know, they getting their money up. They've been trading amongst each other, trading weapons, because they're tired of it being one-sided. You know, Esau's been dominating for half a century now. All right, so eventually the Lord's going to put the spirit on these nations. They're going to come up against the great whore. But the great whore is in alliance with Amalek. The small hats, the 48ers. Okay. So who do you think is going to be responsible? Because he's saying that Edom is American. America's going to get destroyed. Well, who do you think is going to be responsible? It says, for lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. And both America and Israel are despised. Nobody over there likes you. This is why you need all that backing from America and in these European countries. Okay. And Trump, he has to kiss the ring. So despite him saying that he's not going to fight on your behalf and meddle with the fight that you're having with Iran, he's going to have no choice. He has to bend the knee and kiss the ring because he's under their control. He's under Zionist control. All right. And they want to help wipe out the remaining of those Palestinians over there for their greater Israel project. And they're going to eventually have to deal with Iran because of the position that the Iranians have over there. They're threatened. They're fighting for, territory, the landmass for their pipelines, trade routes, you name it. It says, thy terribleness have deceived thee in the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill. Though thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. And he's going to bring all you devils down, not just the Americans, all you devils, whether you're in Europe, whether you here in the States, or whether you even in the land of Israel. You're going to be brought down on a global scale. Because the Lord, it's going to be personal. The Lord's going to come directly to you. Who is he that cometh from Edom with thy garments from Basra? It says, also Edom shall be a desolation. Every one that goeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord. No man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. So your destruction is in comparison to what the Lord did when he overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So when Esau goes down, when Amalek, you devils over there go down, it's gonna be as in the days of Noah for the both of you. All right, for the both of you. Y'all both gonna have you're gonna share the same experience where y'all gonna get melted. It says, behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan against the habitation of the strong, but I will suddenly make him run away from her. And who is a chosen man that I may appoint over her? For who is like me, and who will appoint me the time? And who is that shepherd that will stand before me? Can't do none against the Lord when he purposed or determined anything. You can't do nothing against it. It says, therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Edom, and his purposes that he have purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock, and that's you devils, Amalek, shall draw them out, because you're going to be the reason why they're drawn into this world war. That's going to lead to nuclear annihilation, because everybody's going to pull out the big weapons, the arrows, and they're going to get the shooting. And most of the targets are going to be right on America. All right, the bull's eyes are going to be all over Babylon. It says, surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. So that means that you're going to be desolate, and Babylon is going to be desolate. You're going to experience the same fate. You're going to be overthrown. All right, the Lord's moving these nations towards that. That's why all these nuclear missiles has been developed over these years. Okay. It says the earth is moved at the noise of their fall, and the cry of And at the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. Behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle and spread his wings over Basra. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pangs. Okay. Now, when you go over to Jeremiah 50, prophesying against Babylon, you know, the Israelites are going to be delivered, of course. And then Babylon is going to get destroyed. Jeremiah 50:9, it says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the northern country, starting with the Russians, right? The modern Medes, the bear, they're going to have an assembly of nations with them. And pursuing Ezekiel 38, they're going to be a guard unto them. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence shall she be taken. Their arrows, and if you understand the similitude here, the arrows is a metaphor for the missiles. All right, they're going to be shot into the ends of the world when you read 2nd Ezra 16 and 13. All right, and they're not going to miss. It says, shall be as of a mighty expert man, like a sharpshooter. All right, a marksman. None shall return in vain. And that's what's going to lead to the desolation or the perdition of America. Okay. We jump down. We're going to go down to, here it is. Jeremiah 50:39, it says, therefore the wild beast of the desert with the wild beast of the islands shall dwell there. You can also read Isaiah 34 because it talks about how the sword is going to be bathed in heaven, is going to come down upon Idumea, or the people who the Lord cursed to judgment. And it talks about how the Arabian won't pitch tent there anymore, and it's not going to be inhabited from generation to generation. And it then start to go into a list of these different desert creatures, and 4-footed beasts and vultures. That's all that's going to be dwelling there. So this is the same thing. Isaiah prophesied the same event. Jeremiah prophesied the same event. All right, this is dealing with the overthrow of Esau, Edom. Okay, this is how you know what it means when it says Esau is the end of the world. This is how their kingdom is going to pass away. It says, therefore the wild beast of the desert with the wild beast of the islands shall dwell there, and the owl shall dwell therein, and it shall be no more inhabited forever. Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. As the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith the Lord, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. All right. So this is what's going to happen, and it's going to lead to the destruction. All right. And it talks about how the least of the flock is going to draw them out. Down here in verse 45, Babylon, Edom. So you're connected in prophecy because you all of you are going to have the same fate. You're going to have the same ending. All right. Well, you're going to be destroyed. Now, the difference is over in the land of Israel, it's going to be occupied. America is not going to be occupied. You will no longer be able to use America as your muscle, as the hammer of the earth to get what you want. All right. You got all this help, all this military strength from Babylon. So how, and it's the audacity, right? Because if you're saying that America is Edom and it's going to be destroyed, and you doing all this, basically acting as if you're over, and you're in good graces, but America is not. You've been getting help from Babylon. America has been the entity that helped you devils. You get all this aid and you expect them to come help you, protect you, but then they're just gonna be destroyed after that, and you're gonna remain standing. You're out your mind. That's part of that pride. You devil's gonna get touched too over there. All right, and once America is taken out, you have no muscle. All right. So America's going to be desolate messing with you. All right, it says, behold, a people shall come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. They should, says, they shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. It says that also in Isaiah 13, that the Lord's going to stir up the Medes against them, and they're not going to have any pity upon the fruit of the womb. And gold or silver is not going to appease them. All right, because the Lord's going to put that spirit in them Russians to do the honors. Okay, their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, everyone put in array like a man to the battle against the old daughter of Babylon. All right, and read Revelation, the 9th chapter, starting at the 16th verse on down. That's going into the nuclear destruction. It describes the army of missiles as being 200,000. All right. And they're going to have, it's going to be the fire, the brimstone, the jacinth. It's going to wipe this place out. And I believe the former president of Russia, Medvedev, he even quoted Revelation 9. He quoted that same verse in regards to the fate of America by way of thermonuclear destruction. I remember doing a lesson on that. So even they know that America, its future is gloomy, is dark. Too much wickedness here, too much sin, too much pride. It says the king of Babylon have heard the report of them. And if Trump happens to be in office when this happens, which it's a high possibility that he can be the fulfillment of that, he's gonna melt. All right, he's gonna be super afraid. It says, in his hands waxed feeble, anguish took hold of him, and pangs as a woman in travail. And he basically followed you devils into this trap, because you're gonna be the ones that's gonna lead the cause. All right, and them joining in this world's war. All right. So, yeah, man, so this devil, he's partially right. All right. Because Edom occupies Babylon, but you also occupy the Holy Land too. All right. Read Ezekiel the 36th chapter. Idumea possessed the land. The residue of the heathen possessed the land. And that's why y'all fighting with those Ishmaelites over there. The real people have yet to return to the Holy Land. So let's finish this out and we'll close.
At 49, you'll see the destruction of Edom. So really, the United States of America is destined to crash miserably. And of Edom, the United States, is going to be destroyed, and it's going to start with economy, and then it's going to lead after that to many other things. At the end of the day, Hashem is the one who's going to control everything, and it doesn't matter who is going to put at the head of the United States to bring it.
Yep, because the Most High, he rules in the kingdom of men and set up over it whom he will. So we believe is it could be Donald Trump. Like we hope, we really believe that this can very well be the end, with Donald Trump. Okay, aka Nero.
Bring it down. It doesn't matter. And the fact is that I don't want to talk too much right now about America. For that, I am actually going to invite the ones who are interested to hear much more information about the downfall of America. I'm going to make a private where I'm going to discuss this information and mainly the solution. It's only one way of joining it. Because we're gonna have to filter. I see there's many spies watching my videos. Be telling you, take it.
Well, the scriptures say in Psalms 64 and 8 that thy tongue shall fall upon thyself. So, this might be, the secrets that they discuss among each other, among themselves. But hey, the Lord said he would do nothing but surely reveal of his secrets unto his servants the prophets. So guess what? We already knew this. All right. We already knew. All right. And we also know that these devils, they're going to go down right alongside with Babylon. So interesting video that was put up on this IG page. All right. I don't know if this might be one of the brothers, or I don't know if he's of another Israelite camp, but nevertheless, he posts a lot of interesting videos. But hopefully, I will edify them and give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And until the next lesson, Shalom.